You guys don't mind if I vent for a minute, do you? So I'm a little frustrated. I did the 23andMe looking for my father, and that gave me a little bit of information, but not really much to go on. Um, I went to Ancestry.com. I filled in my whole mother. I filled in my mother's tree, basically, or my mother's lineage, whatever, all the way back to 1300s. And I found the English, I found the Irish, because it says that I'm 63% British and Irish. So I found those, and I can only assume that the 14.4% French and German is my father's side. So I have a name for my father, which I'm not going to reveal here, but uh, I I think I've narrowed it down to a single person. Um, this person was born in California, and my mother told me he went to Germany in. She said after I was born, but my aunt says a different story. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Um, my mother and my aunt told me that he was probably married. My mom, no, my mom didn't say anything about him being married. My aunt said that he was married. Anyway, so I found a person who's in Germany um, around the time I was born. I mean, before I was born. He had a wife in Germany. He had a son in Germany in West Germany, and so the story my mom tells is that he went to Germany after I was born. Um, my aunt says that could be true, but probably before I was born because he probably didn't even know uh, I existed. But anyway, so I found a person. I'm 99% sure it's him. I found his son. I'm pretty sure that I found the right person. So I did research. I paid money. Um, I found I found his name, the correct age of this person. The only information I found was an email address. There was no social media. There was no phone number. There was no address. So I emailed him, and I'm just waiting. So in the meantime, I posted on Facebook, and this is the frustrating part. I posted on Facebook that I'm pretty sure I'm close enough to find my father and my brother. I sent my brother an email, and I'm just waiting for him to respond. So the helpful people of Facebook, my friends, said, "Well, why don't you just write him a letter?" But the problem is that I just said, I had said in the post, I only found an email address. How can I send a letter? Um, and also, someone says, "Oh, well, why don't you just call him?" I mean, that's the frustrating part. I have to constantly explain the situation. I have to constantly explain that I only have an email address and that's it. And I've emailed him and that I'm still waiting for him to respond. And people are still like, "Well, why don't you just call him?" Okay. So anyway, that's the frustrating bit. And it may not seem like a lot to a lot of people, but um, it's all the time. People are constantly offering help, and it's not helpful. So, but there are people that have been very helpful. A friend of mine who lives in New Jersey, who is big on Ancestry and I mean Ancestry.com, and she's given me help. I've found family trees of uh, the person that I think is my father. I added on my Ancestry as my father, I let it populate his entire family tree, and I emailed someone who um, had the father on their family tree, and that's where I found the father. And they said, well, actually, that person never had a son with that name. And they sent me a screenshot of a document that comes from a book of the um, what do you call it? Descendants of a person with the same last name from the 1800s, and um, this document shows a different father and mother, and and that's what that document showed, that he had a son in Germany, and so that's what makes me know I'm 99% sure that I found the right father. I found the right. I mean, I found a brother, and uh, there are a lot of people with those first and last names, but how many are there that have the same birthday, and that are the same age? So I'm pretty sure I found my brother. I'm just waiting for him to email me. Um, it's a little frustrating having to wait, because it's like pins and needles. But somebody on Ancestry emailed me, and it's a apparently a fourth cousin. She lives in Ireland, which is exciting, and she contacted me on Ancestry, and then she says I have you listed as my cousin on 23andMe. So she sent me a message there, and we've been talking on Facebook, and I think it's fascinating that I actually have a living cousin in Ireland. Um, I think it's awesome, and we've been talking. We're practically twins because uh, we're like almost alike, almost totally alike, except she's a female and I'm a male, as you can see, and so I just think it's fascinating, and she's been a little helpful, and so I'm this close to finding him. I just need him to respond to my email, or at least read it. I don't know if he's read it. I don't know if there's a way to tell if a person has read the email on Hotmail, but uh, hopefully, hopefully he'll read it, and hopefully he'll respond, and then hopefully I can reconnect with that part of my family, and I'm just anxious and sometimes frustrated. So anyway, I just wanted to vent a little. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.